Welcome to Poets from the Neighborhood. I am VeerajaR.
And I'm Bruce Jennings. We hope you enjoy the poems we'll be reading today, poems written by your friends and neighbors. Our first poem is a poem of mine entitled Saeculum. It's an Etruscan word that means the expanse of time during which something is in living memory. Every event has its saeculum and then its sunset. I sit alone amid books, reading, moving my lips, reading poets I cannot fathom, reading poems I could never excel. I switch on my own voice when I can, writing, moving my lips, writing poems to please myself, poems I can fathom and enhance. Sounding my linguistic body, I listen for echoes to return, setting words in motion, stirring them up so I can fashion them and click them into place. I write poems for a small circle of friends in return for their engagement and attention. I write poems to give friends something to talk about besides the declaratives of their lives. I write a poetry of subjunctives, if only to be writing, if not read. Am I a poet for all that? For all that autodidactic reading and autoerotic writing? Is the mark of the poetic upon me? That won't be answered in my lifetime. I hope my poems will be washed ashore someday, clinging to books and essays, the other body of my words and thought that will survive and be of interest to strangers for at least one lifetime more. The other body deserves ongoing life. It has done some good. I have devoted my opposable thumbs and my touch typing skills to it. It is the work of my hands. The work of my heart, the poems, will cross to safety also, lonely, patient little chaps. And someone, a doctoral student perhaps, will find them in a box or in a cloud storage and touch a mind she had not thought to reach. Read by other moving lips, my poems read as if they may outlive it all.
The next poem, written by me, VeerajaR, titled Writing a Poem. I sat down to write a poem, my fingers feeling the keyboard, my brain on search mode, the cursor blinking on, both my mind and computer trying to boot up. I stare at the screen, looking deep into my soul.
Our next poem is entitled To a Fellow Writer by Louise Colln. Where do you go to find those words that soar and dip and burn, enthrall and build and tear apart? On what dark river do you sit alone to catch those flying thoughts, fluttering wings from curling waters, creeping things from deep black pits, beautiful queens with ugly warts? If you're walking there some midnight, down the path to Merlin's cave, where angels, devils, demons, princes, dwarves, and cowgirls wait for your costume trim to fit them, watch for me to walk beside you, or come wandering down the hill. I don't know what road we take there, but I know the country well.
That was Louise Collins' poem. Louise is one of our pillar poets, have hosted many episodes with us. And please pray for her as she's ill currently. Thank you. The next poem, When You Write, written by Sandy Coomer. Borrow the words from the apples rotting in the barrel behind the blue shed, for they have traveled the path from soil to seedling, blossom to fruit, and back again. They offer something honest, something warm in fermenting flesh. The brown and breathless heart, or take the words from the nubby folds and ridges of hickory bark, or the rounded surface of an acorn, or the black husk of a walnut. What's left after a week of rain? See what you can find in the butterfly wing carried on the back of 3 army ants, or the cone left after the yellow petals fall from the black-eyed Susan, or the dry grasses scrambled beside the highway, or better yet, try the fallen log with the white lichen and silken moss, or the stagnant bottom of the riverbed, mud-slick and life-weary. Surprise yourself at the compost pile, where lingering green slowly sinks into a rich black blown. There is truth in what's left when color fades, and inside in the bare and perishable beauty of the earth. Take the words from the ground up and go from there, but don't clean them. Leave the tangles, keep the knots, the smell of the wild bark, promise of death. Leave the wounds, leave the dirt, so you will never forget where you found them.
Our next poem is entitled Brain Fever by Lydia Esmer. Whence this teeming of thought and image, obsessing throughout the day, from glimmer, a mere suggestion at dawn, like leftover dream or hint of indigestion, to lazy notions roused at noon, the confluence of sight and sound and scent, with deft touch of a master hand, as chef mixing a salad. By nighttime, the fever raging out of control, like drug-induced hallucination, spurs me on with fever extinguished only upon completion, prompting the question, is this madness or inspiration? Methinks the surge of veritable purge of stale cheese and musty bread, and wine gone acrid in the flask, all distilled anew to render a liquor much better than the last.
In this place, written by me, VeerajaR, and this poem is prompted by this year's 2022 National Poetry Month poster. In this place, there is a poem in this place. Do you see it? Do you hear it? Do you feel it? There is a poem in many forms and shapes. If you look for it, it is right in front of you. There is a poem in many voices and in pieces. If you can pick them up and piece together, there is a poem in plain sight, dancing in ecstasy, calling out to you. Do you hear it? Do you see it? If not, close your eyes and listen to your heart. There is a poem in this place. Thank you for watching Poets from the Neighborhood. We hope you'll join us again soon.